Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough, Tobago. Yes, I'm here with you this morning, Julien Skeete, and certainly after that interview, we're so happy to have on the shores here with us, indeed, really presenting and putting out there Tobago can only work to our benefit ultimately, and certainly we trust that his visit is indeed a successful and productive one, connecting with us here at the Tobago Updates morning show. And from here, viewers, we head straight on into our next interview, and we are chatting with Joseanne Jackson, Librarian 1 of the Children's Library, Tobago Library Services, and we're speaking about the Children's Christmas Charity Drive. Good morning to you and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. Thank you. Good morning to your viewers.
All right, so as we get the conversation started, we want to start with the components, and I know we have here Children's Library at Tobago Library Services. Tell us about the work, so to speak, or the efforts of the Children's Library, and how children are encouraged to become a part and be a part of the initiative.
All right. Well, the works for the Children's Library, we provide library services in terms of print media, in terms of print resources, in terms of digital resources. We also provide services that engage children like chess, we have storytelling, and then we have craft time. How can children contribute to this initiative? Well, we are looking for resources for children, particularly clothing, shoes, and tin food items. So children who perhaps have outgrown their items, the parents can feel free to donate those things.
So my understanding is that this is the first time this charity drive is taking place.
Yes.
We all naturally have a very good understanding of the Tobago when you talk library services, and sometimes, of course, that misconception has been cleared by Mr. Noon. It's not just the physical walls, but the library is now out there, connecting and reaching out. But I want you to make that connection for us, for those who may be saying library services, government agency, charity drive. Tell us a little bit about that, the significance for that on the part of the team.
I'm glad you asked that. Especially during the pandemic, we saw libraries opening their doors to much more than just providing information services. And it is difficult for anybody. Ask a teacher. If you have a student who is hungry or is disturbed or distressed, they don't really focus on what you're trying to teach them. So if we have persons who don't have their basic social needs met, it's hard for them to appreciate our intellectual focus.
So this is clearly and one of those kinds of efforts, and kudos and commendations to you all. You're going beyond what the job description requires in these circumstances to ensure that young persons are still able to benefit from the library. So let's tap in a little more specifically as it relates to what are you attempting to collect on this charity drive? When do persons have until in terms of their time frame, and where can they drop off these items?
All right. Well, the flyer that was circulated actually says that the deadline is today. Right. But I'd like to let persons know that extension has been given until this Saturday. I think it's the 16th.
Right.
The library closes at 2 p.m. So from 8:30 to 2 p.m. on Saturday, you have until then to provide those resources. The flyer gives the age ranges of the children that we're targeting. So it is not just a general charity drive. It's very specific. We know who we're giving the items to. And the needs were identified not as toys, but as clothing, because they're growing children, and so they really need resources.
All right, excellent. So I know you mentioned drop-off. Is it limited to the Scarborough Library, or I know you also have Roxborough? To just just clarify that first. Where are the drop-off points, or is there one drop-off point?
No, I'll say no, because at Scarborough we can take steps to get items that are dropped off at the Charlottesville Branch Library and the Roxborough Branch Library. So persons can go ahead and do so. Another big part of this drive is you can make financial contributions by paying on a gift card at Payless Shoe Source. So if you want to participate and you may not have the clothing items to give, you can make a deposit at Payless under the name Tobago Library Services, and so the caretakers of these children can go and actually get the footwear that's appropriate.
Excellent. Who would you say, in terms of what's the target for this first initiative in terms of numbers? How many are you hoping to be able to reach in terms of helping children and families in need?
We have an initial group of 8 children.
Excellent. Excellent. And they would have been sourced from your interactions. When I say you, I mean in terms of staff's interactions with children who visit the library or families that they may know of in these circumstances?
Actually, they are not directly library users. However, we do hope to create a bond, a long-term relationship with them after they see that the library has gone beyond its regular duties to assist them in this social need.
You speak with a level of passion, and I can't help but wanting to touch on, you based on our conversations prior, coming up within the library services. Why would you say this is particularly significant, even for individuals? And I'm speaking to that essence of going beyond sometimes what we are just paid to do by virtue of our job description, because I have this mantra within the season where it is, I really am encouraging persons, when you are indeed blessed, give a little to help someone else. So what would you say to those out there, as words of encouragement? And again, as I say, I'm seeing your passion and your commitment coming through.
I think, as you rightly say, giving just feels good. Regardless of if it's this drive or it's helping a neighbor who may be unfortunate, or it might be just helping a co-worker who needs a listening ear, I think there are opportunities for us to give. And we take pride in Tobago. We're always branding Tobago. But I think we could start by taking care of us here in Tobago.
Excellent indeed. Joseanne Jackson, Librarian 1. Just before we close, just remind our viewers the need to give, the need to contribute, and where they can deliver to, and if there is any contact information that you'd also like to share.
Definitely. On the Tobago Library Services page, we have the flyer up, so it has all our information. You can come to the library directly, or you can contact us. You can send an email. It is eastlandmckenzie at gmail.com, but it is very clear on the flyer, so forgive me if I don't quote it accurately. And we want to ask persons island-wide to give. You don't have to expense yourself per se. All our children are growing and they may have outgrown something, and you can give it something that's gently used and appropriate for somebody else to utilize.
Excellent. And what an excellent way to close this morning, the Tobago Updates morning show. A gentle reminder to each and every one of you. And I want you to pull back up that flyer on the screen for us. We have been speaking with Joseanne Jackson, Librarian 1 of the Children's Library, Tobago Library Services. And this is their charity drive. Commendations indeed. You have until the 16th, this Saturday. You have until this Saturday. Please make your contributions. We're looking forward to your support. And even if you can't make it to Scarborough, you can drop off at Charlottesville. You can drop off at Roxborough. And just in case you can't even make it there and you might be heading to the mall, you have an opportunity as well to make your contribution for that gift card. So they've created several means by which you can be a part of this initiative. And certainly we want to send our commendations out coming from the entire Tobago Updates family to the Tobago Library Services on this initiative. This is the season where we have certainly got to look out for each other in more ways than one. And really, again, kudos and commendations to you and the entire team. Viewers, we want to thank each and every one of you for connecting with us this morning. I go into the live very quickly as we wrap. And I'm seeing persons in the mix, even Enosh watching from homeland Ghana. And we want to say thank you so much for choosing the Tobago Updates morning show. I'm seeing in the mix Diane Baker Henry, Toyin, Maurice, Kerry, and the list goes on. Anderson, the entire team, and we want to say thank you so much for choosing the Tobago Updates morning show. And as per usual, we want to remind you as we head on out to stay connected, because we're heading over to Tobago Notes with you this morning. Thank you very much again. It's Monday morning. Yes, we are in that season, Monday the 11th of December. All the best season's greetings to you, and remember, stay tuned, because from Tobago Notes we're heading over to GMT with Candice Jackson. So take care and bye-bye for now here from the Tobago Updates morning show.